Hey guys, what's up? It's me again. I got a video about trigger warnings, why I think it's the most negative thing that a society can focus on. So I'm gonna show the video and I'll give my conclusion.
By sort of setting an idea that this will be a safe space for this conversation, it signals to those who might not have those experiences, hey, this is an area where I maybe need to take a second look to be a good ally, to be a good peer. We have to wait for someone who has experienced to come forward and ask for a content warning when we know that 1 in 4 women in college will go through this. When we refuse to affirmatively do these things, to affirmatively make our classrooms safer for people, we're pretending that people from marginalized communities are invisible and that they're not there. And I think that that's a problem.
The fact that she says like 1 in 4 is going to experience this, you're gonna be like, oh my god, that's like very bad. But then again, when you understand what trigger warning is and how easily it can be manipulated to bolster the numbers, you're gonna realize, I'm not saying bad things don't happen, but you're triggered so quickly that everything it's like, let's create a way to identify a problem so easy so everything can be a problem which justify I am right because the problem is everywhere. Look at that, look at this psychologist dude.
So I think it's helpful to take the accommodationist perspective, and we certainly all want people to feel that the classroom is open to them. We don't want people coming to the classroom and being afraid. But first, I would question, is there any evidence or reason to think that giving content warnings or trigger warnings actually will do this? As a psychologist, I've been looking into this, and the more you label things as potentially threatening, the more they develop a certain power to actually threaten. So
Yeah.
think about it this way. I teach classes in the business school here. Suppose I took my students on field trips all over New York. But every time we went to the Bronx, I said, now, today, we're going to the Bronx. Just want to let you know, we'll have an ambulance with us, we'll have police protection, but don't worry about it, we're going to the Bronx. And I only do that for the Bronx. What are people going to conclude about the Bronx?
Yep.
Now, if there was evidence that these warnings actually helped people get over PTSD, then we'd have to balance various things. But there isn't, and the therapists that I talked to, the people who study PTSD, were unanimous in saying that if someone has PTSD, the last thing you want to do is shield them from small reminders.
Yep.
In fact, the only way to get over the Pavlovianly conditioned fear is to let them be exposed to small things, and then nothing bad happens to them, and that's how the fear subsides.
Yeah, just like a baby. I mean, for example, I'm gonna give you a good example with my own freaking baby, okay? My wife is afraid of balloon. I have no idea why, but that's her freaking problem, right? But there was one day, for some odd reason, my son saw her be afraid of the balloon, and then suddenly it clicked in him and he was super afraid of balloon. One bam, and he's afraid. I'm like, whoa, what the heck is this? Guess what? I had a bunch of friends that liked balloons. We went to all the parties, bam, bam, bam. He was afraid, it pissed me off. I was like, should I tell them? But I was like, no, the baby needs to get used to it. So I decided I'm just gonna hold your hands and we're gonna dodge the balloons, but you're gonna be near the balloons. Bam! I'm not gonna show him. I'm gonna tell the kids, hey, you gotta chill with it. He doesn't like it, but you're gonna be near the balloon because it can explode. And slowly he was getting very pissed. It's like I'm chilling with my friends. I heard bam. I was 1, 2, 3. There he comes. Wah! Like a baby. That's why, like just like trigger warnings. And I was like, get used to it. And slowly bam, bam. And he got used to it. But I did have to tell my wife, you got to stop being afraid of the balloon. Because if your body language taught him that, then it's your fault. The baby couldn't even talk, but you taught him something stupid. And she was like, yeah, it's not my responsibility. I can't control it. Well, you better control it. Because you're affecting our baby and he's going to have that issue at school. And remember, this trigger warning, the psychologist already told you, it can trigger other things in the baby that he's going to be traumatized and it affects him in a very negative way. So if you protect somebody too much, when he gets exposed to bad stuff, it can be super triggering. It changes the baby even more. The scare from the first balloon, that's your fault. You created that PTSD, and if you don't handle it well, it will create more. But if he gets used to the PTSD, it won't create more. And now my son is still afraid, but he can handle it. Slowly it got better, got better. He likes to play like batteries in the a drum in the iPad. Pam 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 pam. But he could not play a game when he wins. There comes a bunch of balloons. He was like, no, it's gonna explode. I'm like, no, you can play battery. Pam 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 pam. You can play battery on them too. The balloons. Pam pam pam. And slowly he got used to it. Then later I decided I'm gonna blow a balloon, but I'm not gonna blow it big, but like a little soft that he could see that it's a little soft. And it was like, hey, I like this. I don't want that balloon, Papa, but I want this. And slowly he got used to it. So if you keep telling people, trigger warning, I don't want this, I'm like, okay, man, get freaking used to it. I'm sorry, just get used to it. Yeah, but it's negative. Well, life is negative. Things can happen. Nobody can be perfect. The fact that you never experience something, when you experience it, you're gonna explode and it's gonna be even worse. You don't even want to go outside. I don't watch horror movies. You know how I get off my fear? I play horror games alone in the dark. And slowly in the beginning, I scream like a woman. Ah! My wife even goes, what happened? I got afraid, honey. But I keep playing the game over and over, and slowly my body gets used to it. It's your choice to get used to things that you don't like, right? So I think this whole society with social justice and everything, where victimhood is actually a moral thing. Like the more victim you are, the more you get triggered, the more friends you're gonna get, because they have a reason to protect you, and they're gonna be like, I'm the hero of somebody from a marginalized group. That is the most disgusting thing that I keep hearing all my life. Okay? The fact that I could survive in a world without a mom is because trigger warning didn't exist. I wanted a lot of people to validate my existence. Nobody did. Guess what? I didn't try it anymore. I decided to work on myself. Something that a lot of people don't even know how to do in this society. My kid, I treat him like a gangster. I'm the nicest papa in the world. But if he does something bad, something clicks in me, I'm like, yo, what the heck are you freaking doing? First time, oh my god, that's kind of scary. But the next time he just looks at me like, it was an accident, but Papa, I'm not gonna do it ever again. Because he realized it's not the end of the world. I said, no. Wah! No. Wah! No. Wah! Because a kid doesn't know that after the no, he won't get the thing, it's the end of the world. He doesn't understand what's going to happen. But when he realized a no, it's an extended experience that a lot of things can change. How he reacts, how he explains himself. If you're investing in your kid, it becomes amazing. But these days, nobody does it. A bunch of single parents, when the kid starts crying, oh, I'm so freaking tired. I am tired, but I can switch up with my wife. But if you're so tired and you're alone, no wonder you're gonna give them super love. Because a sad kid that looks at only one person responsible, it's horrible. But I believe of all these weak-minded kids, for me, it's usually people that were empathetic to single parents telling them it's okay, just treat your kids super nice. I understand it. But in the long run, I just don't think it's the best choice. You know? It's kind of weird. And I'm not allowed to talk about it because I'm trigger warning you because you already had the baby and you're suffering. Well, I wish somebody did that when I didn't have my mom. I'm still good. Now it's your turn. Simple.
Don't get me wrong, makosa kita bong. Put the fire na mi blonde kush hash purple skunk criollo colombici jam jam. Turloqueta verdeta welcome. Them be the me at too many shit.